Kuzasampo and a very warm welcome to this PBS program. I'm Kinsang Hatton. The much-awaited spiritual event, the Global Peace Prayer Festival, is underway in the country, bringing people together in a spirit of unity, devotion and peace. Adding to the sacred and festive atmosphere, the holy relics of Lord Buddha have arrived in the country from India on Saturday. To learn and understand more about the relics and the program surrounding them, I'm joined by His Eminence, the 8th Palgar Rinpoche of Sigar Drukpa, who is part of the delegation accompanying the relics, and Karma Yeshe, conservator at the Department of Culture and Dzongkha Development. Welcome to the program. Yes. So Rinpoche, could you tell us about the sacred relics that have arrived in the country on Saturday?
Basically, these are the actual bones of the Buddha, and there are two pieces. It's housed in a case that is the shape of a pyramid, so you can see it on two sides. The other back sides are empty, so two sides are visible, and there are two relics embedded in that case. Right now, it's in the Thimphu, and we brought them, like you said, on Saturday. Our delegation is around 30 people, a strong delegation with 10 Sangha members. I'm the sole Rinpoche in that group, and we brought them from New Delhi to coincide with this holy gathering of the Global Peace Prayer Festival.
Mm-hmm. Could you tell us more about the origin of the relics?
Yeah. So basically the origin is, it's Buddha's own bones. So relics, ringsel, the word that we use in our languages. Ringsel can be, different kinds. Generally, the ringsel that we talk about, they look like small pearls, very small, round, and they're actually born out of a bone fragment or a tooth. So they're like the children, okay? So we call them like the child ringsel or something. They're also very holy, don't get me wrong, but not the same significance as the bone itself of the Buddha or the tooth, So these are the bones of the historical Buddha, and more than 2,500 years old. And I think we have to consider ourselves very fortunate that not only they exist in our time, that we can see them and we can visit them, but this time we don't have to visit them. And in a very spontaneous way, I think both the governments were thinking of bringing the relic to Bhutan, but then somehow, out of spontaneity, I think out of all our good karma, it just has happened so that it was available for exhibition at this time, coinciding with the 70th birthday of the great fourth king of Bhutan, and with this Global Peace Prayer Festival. And I think also very spontaneous is that the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Modi ji, is also available at this time, and he's making time to come. I think he'll be attending on the 11th. So yeah, it has been very karmic and very spontaneous.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And talking about the relics being brought here to Bhutan, sir, could you tell us the collaboration involved in bringing the relics here in the country?
As His Eminence has alluded to, it very well coincides with the birth anniversary, the 70th birth anniversary of His Majesty the 4th Drukgyalpo, as well as the Global Peace Prayer Festival, which is being held throughout the capital here. Now, the genesis of the exposition is due to the warm and friendly relations between our two nations, Bhutan and India, as well as the cordial, friendly and cordial relations enjoyed by the leaders of our two nations, which has enabled us through the joint efforts of the Government of India, the Royal Government of Bhutan, as well as the National Museum of India, who are the actual custodians of the relics, and the International Buddhist Confederation. Through it's a joint effort through these institutions that we are being able to hold this exposition of the holy relics of the Buddha here in the capital at the Tashi Zone.
Yes. And Rinpoche, going back to the relics, If I'm not wrong, it was discovered. The relics are also called the Piprawa relics,
Yes.
and the place at the site where it was discovered, it's called Piprawa,
Yes.
currently Uttar Pradesh,
Yes.
and it is identified as ancient Kapilavastu,
Yes.
where Buddha spent his childhood.
Yes.
So could you tell us more about that?
Everybody knows the Buddha story, and that he was this very special being. He was not very ordinary as we are. He was a prince, and one thing I always tell about people is that we only look at the Buddha story that we know of, like how he was a prince, and he left his palace, he saw the suffering and the sickness, and he gave up the royal life, and he went out in search for truth. But we don't think about the Kalpatamisum, the 3 countless eons of hardships and trial and error that he went through in order to achieve enlightenment. So he had to accumulate a lot of merit in order to to gain wisdom. So because of that, I think it's a culmination of his many lifetimes of accumulation of merit that he eventually became enlightened under the Bodhi tree. He was born in present-day Lumbini in Nepal, but then his kingdom, I think, was quite vast, and and his father really didn't want him to become a saint. He wanted him to look after his kingdom. But then, after he achieved enlightenment, he traveled vast distances. He, had many followers. I think millions, I would say. And his teachings and his influence, is spread all over the world. They're even finding artifacts as far as Egypt, I'm hearing, and maybe also even Ireland, which is very far. We think that it went maybe as far as Afghanistan or Hungary, but I think it has spread all over the world. And so I think his relics were discovered, maybe, I'm sure, after his passing away, and the relics were spread everywhere, in Sri Lanka, I think in the neighboring countries. But in India, we have, as I've been told, 18 relics, but the actual physical part of a Buddha, actual bone, is the one that we brought on Saturday.
The relics are currently enshrined at the Grand Kinre of Tashi Chozongla. So when will it be open to the public, and what about the timings?
Yes, and as you have reported, we received the holy relics in a grand procession befitting the sacredness of the relic yesterday. However, the relic will be open for public viewing only from the 12th of November onwards until the 17th of November. The relic will depart for India on the 18th of November. However, the timing for the public viewing at the Grand Quinray of the Tashi Chozong will be from 7:30 a.m. till 5 p.m. And we've also made an announcement through our media houses here. We've requested all devotees and attendees to come in proper dress, Go and Kira for Bhutanese, with their kabnis and rachus. And as I've alluded earlier, the relics will be open for public viewing from 7:30 a.m. till 5 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Now, people are going to get the opportunity to view such sacred relics. So when they get such kind of opportunities, how are they supposed to pray and receive blessings from these relics?
Very good question, Kaisal. May I tell a small story?
Sure.
So there was this old woman in Tibet, as the story goes, and she had a son who was a business person, a merchant, and he used to come to India to do business. And I mean, you can't just catch a plane or catch a train those days. You have to travel vast distances. You have to cross the Himalayas. It was a perilous journey, and there was no guarantee that you would come back. So he would go to India as often as he could to buy stuff, for exchange for his business. His mother was a devout Buddhist, and she had heard that in India, someone named, Siddhartha had achieved enlightenment, and she heard great stories, and she had so much devotion to the Buddha. And every time she asked her son, please bring me a relic, his piece of cloth, whatever, even his, a piece of his, whatever it is that you can bring, from the Buddha. of course, those days you can't just take a photo and bring it back, or you can't just share like that. So she wanted something of the Buddha. Every time the son would forget, because he was so business minded. And I think the woman was growing very old, and I think she was about to, she was getting scared that she might never receive the blessings of the Buddha. Then she said, look, now I'm very old, and this is the last request I'm going to make. You better bring the Buddha's relic, or I will kill myself. Yeah. So then the son, again, he forgot. On the way back, he thought, oh my God, I forgot the relic. What should I do? And then he was also very clever. He found a tooth of a dog. Yeah. And he took that tooth. He had beautiful brocade and silk. He wrapped it in the silk and brocade, housed in a small jewelry box, I think, and he gave it to the mother. Hey, mother, you know what? I actually got you the tooth relic of the Buddha. She was so happy. It was actually the tooth of a dog, but her teba, her devotion was so strong that she prayed to this relic every day until she achieved enlightenment. And it radiated. So we say like teba, kisola mebar, But this relic that we brought is the actual bone of the Buddha, mind you. And just to see it, Kinzangla, we call it Tongdul. Tongdul means liberation through seeing, blessing through seeing. There's Turul, liberation through hearing. So when you receive Lung, when you receive some oral teachings, that is liberation through hearing. Then there is Chawang, that is liberation through touch. Nyungdol, like Pumchu, Chinlap, that is liberation through blessing through taste. Likewise, when we see a holy image of a Buddha, Guru Padmasambhava, or a great guru like Chabdungma Namgyal, Kumke Pema Karpo, or like this holy relic, it is liberation through seeing, blessing through seeing. So when you see the relic, you have to watch it closely. You don't have to literally get up and close, but you should look at it closely. And I think you should start with a layer of prayers. As a Buddhist and as a Mahayanist, as a Vajrayanist, we should pray for the enlightenment of all sentient beings, because ultimately that's the solution. Then below that, temporarily, we have to live in this relative world, interdependent world, right? We are not free from samsara. So until we achieve enlightenment, may all sentient beings be free from the lower realms. May all sentient beings keep being reborn in the human realm with the perfect human body, Milyo Rinpoche. May they meet a great guru, may they meet the Dharma. So you can pray like that. And may they be comfortable, may they have enough to eat. And you can come down again. With the third layer of the prayer, you can say may my country, the country of Bhutan, may the world for which we are praying right now, there's so much war happening everywhere you look. It's such a volatile situation. You can't really trust anybody. There's so many misinformation. There's so much confusion. So you can pray for clarity. You can pray for wisdom to prevail, common sense to prevail, and for all wars to end, all famine to end, all kind of, whatever bad that is happening to end, all sufferings, and for your particular country like Bhutan to remain peaceful. You can pray for the long life of the royal family, starting with the fourth king, the great fourth king, and the fifth king, and the rest of the family, and then your fellow Bhutanese. Yeah, so you can do layer by layer. Yeah, because after all, we're human beings. So as a Buddhist, we should think about all sentient beings, but we should also think about our fellow people, and
Now the relics will be open for public display on 12th of this month. And how has the ministry made arrangements in terms of crowd monitoring and the entry and exit at Tashchozong? So could you tell us some information on this?
So as usual, we have a very capable Royal Bhutan Police and the Desum Fraternity who is helping us with the crowd management. We have also drawn up visitor flow throughout the Tashchozong premises. Visitors will enter through gate 2 and we will share and make the maps public as well. So visitors will enter gate 2 of the Tashchozong and they will enter via the courtyard into the Kunre, and we've also drawn maps of the visitor flow in the courtyard as well as in the Kunre. Once inside the Kunre, as usual, photography within the Kunre as well of the relics will not be permitted. However, we will share official photos of the relic through our official platforms, and the public will disembark or exit through the Tendreltang gate. And we will also make provisions with carpets so that the public won't have to take off the shoes when they enter the Kunre.
Now, Rinpoche, we understand that the relics have returned to India after a long period of time, like over 120 years since it has been taken out during the colonial period. So could you share us more information on this?
Yeah, as I've heard, is that it was discovered by, I think, an archaeologist. I can't remember the name, but and I think, you know, those days it was the colonial times under the British. So with great effort, we managed to retrieve it. And Kinzangla, as I've been told, it has traveled to at least 6 countries recently, mainly Vietnam, Mongolia, Russia, Thailand, and now Bhutan. And as per my information, it is the first time that the holy relic, the very bone of the Buddha, has actually entered Bhutan. So that's the information I have, and it's just, you know, I think you have to stop, and to all the visitors who will be, you know, getting the golden chance to see the relic, they should really be amazed in their own karma that we are able to see a physical part of the Buddha. It just, I mean, we never met the Buddha. I always complain that we didn't get to meet the Buddha, that we were born so long after him, you know. Of course, we have the great gurus of the Kunkhe Pema Garbo, Shabdunga Namgyal, and you know, who have gave us teachings. But the historical Buddha, we don't have a direct connection. We've only seen them in tankas and statues. But this time, we can see him, not in flesh, we can see him in bone. Yeah.
With the ongoing Global Peace Prayer Festival, sir, we have a lot of people who are foreigners and disciples from other countries. So are they also allowed to, are they also in, do they have the opportunity to view these relics?
So as usual, Tashi Chozang is open to public tourists only after 5 p.m. during weekdays. However, the tourists will be allowed inside the courtyard of the Tashi Chozang during the weekdays, but the Kunre doors will be closed where the relics are enshrined to tourists as well as public after 5 p.m. However, during the period of the exposition, that is from the 12th of November to the 17th of November, attendees or devotees that are gathered here for the Global Peace Prayer from abroad will be allowed like any other devotees coming to pay their respects to the relics. We also have, along with the relics exposition, we also have a concurrent exhibition happening at the courtyard of the Tashi Chozang, as well as in the upstairs of the Kajatrom, relating to the life of the Buddha and the journey of the Buddha.
So I think that's it, La. I'd like to thank you both for your time and giving us insights on the sacred relics of Lord Buddha, La. May peace and harmony prevail in the world. And to all the viewers, thank you for watching.